now. This is Breaking Ground and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, the budget session of Parliament is reconvening tomorrow to consider the Constitution Amendment Bill and the Delimitation Bill. The idea is to fast-track the implementation of 33% representation of women in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Government says it is time for everyone to come together and unite for Mission Nari Shakti. Opposition asks, what's the hurry? Opposition says that the government is using women reservation issue to just fast-track the delimitation. Opposition says it supports immediate implementation of 33% quota for women, but within the existing strength of Lok Sabha and the state assemblies. Right now, Lok Sabha seats are distributed between states on the basis of 1971 census and within each state on the basis of 2001 census. Article 82 of the Constitution says this arrangement is going to continue until the relevant figures for first census after 2026 are published. Now, this is an important aspect because now what the centre wants is significant. Centre has proposed increasing the number of Lok Sabha seats to 850. This is what centre is proposing as part of its intention to implement the Women's Reservation Act or the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam from the 2029 Lok Sabha polls. With 815 seats proposed for the states and the remaining 35 for the union territories. Now, this is for the lower house of the parliament. Another proposal is that there should be an amendment to Article 82. Centre is proposing it. Currently, the rule says next delimitation is going to be based on census post 2026. But Centre wants that delimitation should be allowed based on pre-2026 census. Now, pre-2026 census means 2011 census. And census 2026 has started just now. It's going to happen in two phases. It's going to get completed only next year. So, Centre doesn't want to wait till next year and wants this amendment to the rule this year itself. So, the Lok Sabha seats will be increased to up to 850 from current 543 to operationalize the women's reservation law before the 2029 parliamentary polls following a delimitation exercise to be carried out on the basis of last published census. Now, this has ignited a big delimitation debate in the country. Leading the charge in the country in the southern part is M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. He has termed the amendment a conspiracy. The charge is that a population-based delimitation will unfairly benefit the northern states, where population growth has been higher, while penalizing states that have performed better in population control and development. This is the charge. M.K. Stalin also held a high-level meeting earlier today. He's urged the people of Tamil Nadu to hoist black flags against the BJP in every house tomorrow. Listen in to the war of words.
Delimitation perla தனது லிமிட்டை தாண்டி பாஜக அரசு தமிழ்நாடு உள்ளிட்ட தென் மாநிலங்களை வஞ்சிக்குது. டெல்லி பாஜகவுக்கு தமிழர்கள் யாருன்னு காட்ட வேண்டிய நேரம் வந்துருச்சு. நாளைக்கு நாடாளுமன்றத்தில் அவங்க கொண்டு வர போற சட்ட திருத்தத்துக்கு எதிர்ப்பை காட்டுற மாதிரி தமிழ்நாட்டில் எல்லாரும் நம்ம வீட்டில் கருப்பு கொடியை ஏற்றுவோம்.
It is an evil against the nation, especially when the major states are going towards election. The BJP wants to somehow bring in a bill in the disguise of Women Reservation Bill. The M.K. Stalin been voicing his voice. He had a meeting with all the likely-minded chief ministers of southern states to say that what will be the damage to these southern states if this bill is passed. That based on population, we will lose our representatives, MPs in the thing.
महिला आरक्षण के आड़ में आप देश का पॉलिटिकल मैप बदलने जा रहे हैं, लेकिन इस चक्कर में देश का मैप बदल जाएगा. जिस तरह से दक्षिण के राज्यों ने इशारा दिया है केंद्र सरकार को, तो मुझे डर लगता है कि इस बहाने मणिपुर जैसी स्थिति दक्षिण के राज्य में न हो जाए.
Now, viewers, you heard what the opposition has to say. Centre says some people are trying to mislead South Indian states on women reservation by providing wrong delimitation figures. There should be no politics in giving reservation to women in Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies. Sources have told Times Now that shares of all states will go up uniformly by 50%. Government sources have told Times Now that the 2011 population will not be the binding factor. Simply means proportionately nothing really changes. This will allay concern of southern states that their representation might drop. This is what we have learned from sources. There will be no disadvantage to southern states. The same proportion that exists today will be maintained. The headline number will rise by 50% to 850, and that number for each state will also rise by 50%. Listen in to what the government has to say.
In Nari Shakti Bandhan Adhiniyam, every party is together. Primary objective of providing reservations to the women in the Parliament of India and assemblies of the states, no political party will oppose it. Women reservation cannot be a political issue. We have waited for 40 years. We can't afford to wait for another year or another decade. It will be extremely painful if we further delay the women reservation process.
It's a reservation. There will be a delimitation committee. There will be that commission which sits in every state. They will talk with everybody, with all political parties, and then only a call will be taken.
Chief Minister has got nothing to do. He just wants to pinprick this nitty-gritty thing and to say, oh, Tamil Nadu is like this, Delhi is like this. It is very unfortunate. With respect to the women reservation, it is waiting in abeyance from 1996. And people of Tamil Nadu, especially our mothers and sisters, are waiting for the day, April 16, 17, 18 in Parliament. Instead of telling his MPs to go and support this particular act in the Parliament from 16 to 18 and to bring this to action where no state is going to get penalized, he has started his usual fear-mongering practice sitting in Tamil Nadu.
Let's now go across to my colleague Pragya, who's been tracking the story very, very closely. She's joining us live right now. Pragya, we've heard what the opposition has to say. We've heard what the government has to say. But what have your sources told you about how will the structure really change? And you're also telling us that there's not going to be, a direct link to the 2011 census. What does it mean?
Absolutely, Heena. What the government is saying that there is fear-mongering that is going on by the opposition parties, which should not actually take place, because the increase in the Lok Sabha seat is going to be proportion. Proportion is not going to change. Suppose out of 543, if UP has 80 Lok Sabha seats, then it will have, proportionate increase in the seats when it comes to 815 Lok Sabha seats, where the seats are going to be increased. For that constitutional amendment is to be brought in. So there is no, proposal to change the proportion. And in fact, what the government is also saying, the state strength is going to increase by 50%. So suppose if Rajasthan has 200 assembly seats, 100 more will be added. Rajasthan will have 300, and similarly for Tamil Nadu as well. Census is going to be used in 2011 only, but there is no linkage to that, and only this is going to defreeze the strength of Lok Sabha seats. Remember, when you
understood it correctly, Pragya, you're saying that the increase in number of seats is not going to be as per the increase or decrease in population, but there is going to be a uniform increase of seats. For example, if a particular state has 10 seats, then after this, change happens, that state will get 15 seats. There's going to be a 50% uniform increase in seats for every state and union territory. There is no link to population.
Absolutely, Heena, and this is exactly what the government is saying, that the proportion of any state in Lok Sabha is not going to change. As far as state assemblies are concerned, 50% strength will be increased in each and every assembly segment as well. So southern states have nothing to fear, because if they have a certain proportion in existing Lok Sabha, that same proportion will be implemented when the seats will be decreased and 815 seats will be increased in Lok Sabha. So there is no, reason for southern states to be worried, and no reason for southern states to be, go on aggression and to be aggressive against delimitation, because government has already decided and government has also clarified to the opposition parties that they are not going to change the proportion at all. And in fact, Delimitation Commission is not going to decide on the number of constituencies. The mandate of Delimitation Commission is the reorganization of the constituencies.
All right. Thank you very much, Pragya. Appreciate you joining us with all of those details. Now, you heard what the government is saying. You heard what the opposition is saying. Now, amidst all of this, numbers are going to matter, because any kind of constitutional amendment, viewers, needs 2/3 majority. Numbers matter, and here's how the numbers are looking like right now. The current strength, if it's 540, you've got NDA at 292, and you've got the opposition or the INDI at 201, others at 47. So numbers needed to get these amendments cleared is 360. So clearly, for NDA, the support of the opposition becomes extremely critical. And it's going to be a very important day in the parliament tomorrow and day after. Let me now go across to my colleague Pratibha as well, who is joining us live at this point in time. Pratibha, good evening. We are witnessing literally a showdown, a face-off between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the opposition, specifically in Tamil Nadu. Any word from the opposition on what sources in the government are telling us that there's going to be a direct 50% increase in seats for every state and union territory?
Well, good evening, Heena. You know, the election heat is picking up in Tamil Nadu. While, yes, many meetings are taking place in Delhi, the opposition leaders have also united in their stand that they are going to be opposing, and they've said very clearly that they oppose the delimitation, but they don't oppose the women's reservation bill. But the bigger question also in the elections is going to be how is it going to play out on the streets. And we spoke to the DMK leaders who have said that they will be protesting, they will be speaking up against it. In fact, they say whether in the parliament wearing black clothes or black clothes to protest against the same, to mark their protest, they are also going to be hoisting black flags. This is what the DMK has said, that tomorrow we are going to see a massive protest in Tamil Nadu, where we are going to see black flags being hoisted in every family. That's what they say. So we are also going to see a lot of supporters of the DMK who are going to be holding black flags to protest. So how is it going to play out? That will be interesting. Like Pragya was also pointing out to you, Heena, the government has made it clear that it is going to be a proportional increase in the number of seats. And the BJP has said that this is nothing but fear-mongering that is coming in from the opposition leaders. But on the ground, how is it going to play out? Because what the DMK has said is that it can work against the people of the state. They say that the southern states are not going to be represented enough, that the northern states will get a bigger representation, and that is going to harm the southern states. This is the narrative that's playing out on the ground. Whether it echoes with the people or not will be interesting to see in the elections.
That's right. And also, since it's happening in the middle of the election season, so we'll see who really is going to benefit from what we are going to see in the parliament over the next 3 days. Thank you, Pratibha. Appreciate you joining us with all of those details. Let's now welcome our guests who are joining us. We have Anila Singh, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Dr. Pulla Rao, political analyst. Good evening to both of you. Thank you for joining us here on Times Now. Ms. Anila Singh, to you first. The charge is that you are calling a special session of parliament in the middle of the election season, and in the garb of women reservation, you're pushing the delimitation issue, you're pushing the delimitation commission that's going to have a lot of powers, and eventually the southern states are going to be at a disadvantage.
My Ram Ram to all. And this is absolutely a rubbish accusation from the opposition. And it simply seals one thing, that opposition is strongly against the empowerment of women. This is the same opposition which had delayed this reservation bill for 30 years. And now, when Narendra Modi ji, as the Prime Minister of this great country of ours, who has got women in the top in his priority list, we have seen so many times that he does each and everything to empower women. Today he wants to give the power in the hands of the women, that you do not have to only vote, you can be the policy makers as well. So the opposition has got so much of problem. In 2023, the opposition claimed that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji had given a post-dated check that would only be cashed around 2034. Now when Narendra Modi ji is bringing the 131 amendment to make it a reality for 2029, the opposition is suddenly objecting the process. Why? The reality is that the opposition does not want to see Nari Shakti in parliament. Whereas PM Modi has cleared the path by breaking all technical barriers. Now it is the high time, Heena, that the opposition should get some sense and they should stand together to empower women. And secondly, I just want to make one small point here, that absolutely baseless rumors are being spread by some of the opposition leaders that if this process will roll in, then southern states they are going to lose a seats. Of course not.
Dr. Pulla Rao.
Augmentation, nobody will, whether the southern state or the northern state, they will be on equal platform.
Dr. Pulla Rao, now we have also learned from our sources in the government that there's going to be a 50% increase in seats for every state and union territory. And this is contrary to what the opposition is really claiming. And the government's charge is the opposition is indulging in fear-mongering.
Let me tell you straight. You should ask your sources in government with two simple questions. Why this huge increase from 540 to 850? Our constitution is based on the American and English constitution. 1926, there were 430 MPs in USA. 2026, there are still 430 MPs. Population has quadrupled, quintuple nonsense that day. The British 630 MPs today, 630 MPs 100 years ago, 200, 300 years ago. Why are you doing this? This huge number, and then linking it to women's bill. Are people so dense, Heena ji? We can't see through this kind of chicanery. Why can't you come out openly and say, I have a grand plan to increase it? And the reasons may be X, Y, and Z. Suddenly introducing it, suddenly saying it. You know,
can you help us understand, Dr. Pulla Rao, what are your concerns? Your concerns are with delimitation, or your concerns are with the implementation or government's effort to expedite the implementation of women reservation in Lok Sabha and the state assemblies?
This has nothing to do with the implementation of the women's bill. Delimitation Commission comes through a separate law in Parliament. And you know, my concern is you're increasing these numbers as a random way. What is the thinking behind it? What will happen to India? In 72 years, you have gone up from 530 MPs to 850.
No, but the rationale of the government is, on that, the rationale of the government is that there should be adequate representation of people in the parliament, and the way our population has increased, it is important to also increase the representation of the people who are members of parliament in the in Census. So why should there be a problem with that?
There's definitely a problem. You know, people say we're giving you 50% raise. It's not fair. It's not a mathematical, it doesn't make mathematical logic. When a state like Tamil Nadu from 40 to goes to 60, Uttar Pradesh from 80 to 120, the reach is very far. The psychological depth is very far.
Miss Anila Singh, please respond. Please respond. And second, you did not answer my first question, which was on the timing. Opposition is also raising the issue of timing. You're doing it in the middle of the election season to just influence the voters somehow.
That may be a little bit of a thing.
Dr. Pulla Rao, 1 second. Miss Anila Singh is responding. Yes.
Heena ji, I have to tell Mr. Pulla Rao, for your concern, that is why we are getting amendment in Article 82. I think that is going to settle your concern. And secondly, again, you are seeing that though I had tried to explain you when Heena had come first time to me, again, I'm going to tell it for your convenience that absolutely there won't be any imbalance in between the southern states and the northern states because of the mathematical heart of pro rata augmentation. And according to pro rata augmentation, which this government wants to bring, according to that base, there will absolutely no partiality to any state. For example, if you take the Bihar, if Bihar has 40 seats right now, I'm talking about the parliament, by increasing, it will get 60. And the same goes, like if Tamil Nadu has 39 seats right now, it is going to get 59. So plus 20 to Tamil Nadu, plus 20 to Bihar. So
Dr. Pulla Rao, please respond.
Accordingly, is going to give a.
Isn't that a fair formula? Because if you're okay with the current structure, then you should be okay with the revised or the proposed structure also, because it's 50% increase for everybody.
No, absolutely. Even the very, very semi-literate people agitating in Noida say when you increase the salary of 20%, you are increasing it over a petty base figure. You make us 100%. Others who get 1 lakh salary a month, 10% is good enough. Country can see through this, Heena ji. If you say representation is needed, why not follow the Chinese path, Anila ji? Have 2,000 MPs. They have 2,000. I have given you
But
examples.
this is not China. This is India, Dr. Pulla Rao.
Yeah, that's why there is not following any precedent, any logic. Other constitutions, with this constitution has been on force from 52 for elections. Can't you wait? What's the rush to make 50% increase?
Okay.
You should have made 5-10% increase. Continue, gradualism. That's the best thing. Forget politics for a minute. Gradualism is a great thing. Consensus is even better. That's what Mahatma Gandhi taught us. But where is the consensus? There's no consensus.
Miss Anila Singh, please respond.
See, I don't know what confusion Mr. Pulla Rao has. Let me
No,
say
his view is that instead of just increasing it by like 50%, you could have gone gradual, looked at this formula wherein you are increasing the percentage gradually, say 5%, 10%, etc.
See, Heena, this is what I had said earlier, that these people are against women getting empowered. That is a problem. See what Mrs. Sonia Gandhi is saying, what Rahul Gandhi is saying, Priyanka Vadra is not commenting on it. We have seen the southern leaders, right from the chief ministers to others, they have got huge problem. But on the same side, if you see what Mr. Nadu has said, even he comes from the southern state. And he is welcoming this.
But opposition says, Ms. Anila Singh, they have no problem with fast-tracking the women reservation in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. They say they have a problem primarily with the delimitation issue, the way it has been also brought in the middle of the election season. Quick comment, then closing comments with Dr. Pulla Rao.
If we keep on waiting for the elections to stop, I think never ever any good work can be done for the country, because in this country of ours, round the year after year, elections are there, year after year. And I'm again going to say one thing, that none of the state is going to face population penalty. That is why we want pro rata augmentation, and they should understand.
Dr. Pulla Rao, nobody is going to be punished on the basis of population. What southern states are trying to suggest right now, government says it's fear-mongering, it's not true.
You see, when the other side feels they're being cheated, you should rectify it. That would be good politics. Trying to push it down is not fair. May I remind you, Anila ji, November 8th.
How you
November
are
8th. No. May I just remind you of one thing? November 8th, 2016, demonetization. Suddenly it was brought. Did it bring you good? Did it bring you good? It brought you disaster. Don't do these things.
No.
This is not a right decision.
Tell me straightforward how you are going to lose. I think women are
history will punish. History will punish this country. You can't take these decisions. Big decisions like this.
All right, both of you now calm down. We leave it there. I mean, it is going to be discussed in the parliament. Of course, we will hear arguments from both sides. Central is trying to allay concerns again and again by saying that no state is really going to punish, because there is going to be a 50% increase in seats for all the states and union territories. We'll see eventually what happens. Thank you very much, both of you, Ms. Anila Singh and Dr. Pulla Rao. Appreciate you joining us here on Breaking Ground this evening.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार।